What is up, guys? My name is John Dawson, and I am currently building a 1,300 square foot off-grid house, and I'm doing it completely solo. I would love for you guys to follow along. We are doing an entire series on this build, so if you want to watch it, please hit the subscribe button, like the video, and without any more wasted time, let's dive into the build. Tomorrow is the day. We closed on the property today. We now officially own 17 and some change acres, and tomorrow we're headed up there. For those of you who are new to the channel, my name is John Dawson, and I am building a 1,300 square foot house, and I'm building it by myself. Now, to give you guys a background, in January of this year, 2022, my wife and I bought 17 acres in Texas, and I decided I wanted to build the house from the ground up all by myself. With that being said, let's dive into what this is going to be. So we purchased 17 acres. The first thing we did after closing was drive the property, walk the property. A lot of it couldn't be driven yet, to figure out where we wanted to put the house. And this was kind of difficult because I didn't mention this before, but this is the guest house. We are going to build a main house. We're also going to have a stable and an arena, a workshop, and possibly a separate content house for my podcast and live streaming and all that other content, and just an overall game room space for the kids. So placement is key. 17 acres isn't that much when you want to do so much. And for those of you who just found me, I am a content creator on TikTok and podcast. I have a top-rated podcast called The John Dawson Perspective, and we talk about business, current events, politics, all sorts of fun stuff. But anyway, if you want to check it out, go ahead and head over to my socials and you can check it out there. But anyway, after walking and driving the property a few times, I finally found this gorgeous spot up by this really old oak tree that wasn't big enough for the main house, and it wasn't flat enough to do the arena. So I figured this would be the perfect spot for the guest house. So the first step in starting this build was to clear the road so that we can drive in and out to this build site fairly easily. This was not fun. Now, I love grabbing the chainsaw and cutting down some trees, right? You know, I'll help a friend cut down trees for fun. I enjoy it. This was not fun. 90% of the trees that I was cutting were cedar and I'm blanking on the name of it, the mesquite. Now, if you guys don't know what mesquite is a tree that has thorns that are like 1 inch to 3 inches long that will literally poke through anything. So cutting these down and having these trees fall on your back or on your arms or trying to grab them and move them is just a pain. But it needed to be done, and I needed to start building this house. So I eventually cleared a path to the build site, and it was time to lay out the build. And right when I was getting ready to weed whack the build area and lay things out, I saw the oak tree that we were building this house by, and I realized that I needed to clear that tree before I started building, because I needed to know exactly where I wanted to place this house, because that oak tree isn't going anywhere. Once I start building the house, it's not going anywhere, and I want to make sure the layout works perfectly when it comes to the driveway and things that we're going to be doing with it down the road. So I had to clear the oak tree, and that's what I did. The next step was also to tweak the layout of the home. So what I did was I pulled some lines, got the general area of the home string-lined out, and then we kind of tweaked it east to west because we wanted to make sure our front porch was going to really get a good view of that sunset. So overall, before you start building, it's very important to make sure you have the exact spot that you want, and that you're not going to be upset and wanting to move your home down the road. So once I got that set out, pulled the strings, squared it up, got some spray paint on the ground, weed whacked the area to make sure it was clear. And then the next steps are to scrape it with a skidster and then get some holes dug for the pier and beam foundation. Now, we are building this home as a pier and beam home. I will also get into depth as to why I chose a pier and beam over a slab foundation in another episode. But I hope to see you guys on the next episode. If you haven't, please subscribe, like this video. It lets YouTube know that you enjoy it. It lets me know that you enjoy it. I've got a ton of content already lined up for you guys. So I will see you next week for episode 2. And I hope you guys have a good one. Much love, y'all.